So Cracker Barrel panics as the internet destroys the chain over the latest desperate move that they just made. So Cracker Barrel is finally backing down after months of customer outrage, or so it seems. Cracker Barrel says it is stopping the remodels, keeping the original menu, and bringing back the traditional look that the customers wanted, or the people wanted. Now, customers made it clear what Cracker Barrel means to them, and also the company itself couldn't, ignore it anymore, and they shouldn't. But this is Cracker Barrel just simply admitting that the changes failed and trying to win back the trust that it lost. Now, honestly, it's not going to be enough to get the customers back, but some of them may be coming back, and the others won't. You see, so this came from the statement that the company we made yesterday. Excuse me, where basically talked about them that they're stopping all the remodels and stuff nationwide, and unfortunately that's not enough. Okay, Culture Casino actually commented up here with his thoughts. It talks about how the CEO needs to be fired. You also have Smash JT up here on the post, who says that they forgot to fire someone. Of course, we know who it was. And then there's also George, of course. He says it's not about the remodels being bad, is that they take the character away. Hire designers who know the brand. He's right, but at the same time, that's not enough. She needs to be gone. Okay, the picture of this woman right here, Karen, CEO herself. But it's like a bunch of other comments stating that they need to go ahead and fire the CEO, as well as get rid of the board. Okay, so yeah, as you all know, yesterday the company announced that their all planned remodels are suspended effective immediately. Okay, so any Cracker Barrel location that hasn't been touched yet will stay the same, and that alone shows how deep this misstep was. Now, customers spoke, shareholders panicked, and the leadership realized that they were risking total collapse by abandoning the identity that the people connected with for decades. And also, to add to that, they realized that their jobs may be on the line. Now, Cracker Barrel also launched the new All the More campaign, trying to go ahead and spin this massive reversal into a celebration of tradition. Now, it's a PR move, plain and simple, designed to lure frustrated customers back while distracting from the leadership failure that caused the backlash in the first place. Okay, so the same executives who signed off on turning Cracker Barrel into a watered down West Coast friendly chain are now pretending that this was always the plan. The CEO staked her entire tenure on these changes, where every remodel, every menu tweak, and even the failed rebrand came from the top. And now that Cracker Barrel is, they're claiming to be undoing nearly all of it, her position looks shaky at best. Now, the shareholder votes are coming up, as you all know, and later this year. And anyone who thinks they'll ignore hundreds of millions in losses, they're simply just joking. They're kidding themselves at this point. But this is the same CEO who thought it was smart to replace the comfort food identity of Cracker Barrel with the stripped down version of cafeteria style menu. Reports confirm that, many locations switched to microwave food and prepackaged biscuits under her watch. Now, that decision, combined with design changes that erased the rustic Southern charm people loved, has pushed longtime customers away in droves. You even got people who stated they're never coming back. Now, Cracker Barrel lost nearly 12% in market value almost overnight, shedding over $34 million after announcing the failed rebrand strategy. Okay, but more than $700 million was gambled on a vision that no one wanted. honestly, for a company valued at $1.2 billion before the chaos, that's pretty catastrophic right there. Shareholders didn't sign up to bankroll experiments that actually alienated the exact people keeping the lights on. Okay. So, yeah, as y'all saw, social media definitely exploded with complaints about, how the remodels, the bland menu updates, and the push to market Cracker Barrel as something that it wasn't. Now, honestly, shouldn't even stop with that. It's more about the food too. The food went horrible over the past 10 years, and people online made that abundantly clear. Now, the chain built its reputation on consistency, tradition, and the experience, basically, of stepping into a nostalgic, familiar space. Now, the new vision stripped away all of that, and diners didn't hold back at all. You see, empty dining rooms became a reality, and the falling stock prices added more to the pressure. And now comes a big question: will Cracker Barrel undo the remodels that already happened? I mean, that's unlikely. I don't know, but with hundreds of millions lost, the company itself doesn't have the resources to go ahead and reverse every design change right at this point. But that means, a two-tiered customer experience. Some locations will still look like the classic Cracker Barrel on that the people love, while others will just simply stay stuck with the stripped down, unpopular redesign. And that's messed up, but not surprising. But the bigger challenge ahead is not the decor, it's the food quality. Even if Cracker Barrel restores its old fashioned vibe, bringing back the same cozy visuals won't save the brand if customers keep getting, reheated sides and day old biscuits. Now, for decades, the chain thrived by offering freshly cooked meals from scratch with a distinctive Southern character. Rebuilding that trust simply means that returning to that standard across every location. Okay, so yes, some locations have already been remodeled into stripped down generic spaces that remove the rustic, cozy atmosphere. And Cracker Barrel was known for that. And former customers feel those changes can't easily be reversed. And honestly, many won't even return if their local restaurant still feels wrong. All right. And that's the sentiment right there. But what's worse is how out of touch the leadership has been throughout the whole entire ordeal. You see, all the internal discussions reportedly framed longtime Cracker Barrel customers as unsophisticated and resistant to change. Okay, so yeah, that's the usual playbook they go with. The thinking that it was simple: heat up canned green beans, slap together pre-made biscuits, and they won't even know the difference. Excuse me. And that particular arrogance drove decision making at every level, and now the company is definitely paying the price. So yeah, that's what happens when you cut costs. But even now, the CEO is trying to pivot, positioning herself as the face of the all the more campaigns, just simply smiling on morning shows and promising to listen to the customers. But no PR tour erases the reality that Cracker Barrel nearly broke its brand because leadership simply ignored the people who built it. Now, trust doesn't come back with a new slogan from Cracker Barrel. It comes back when customers actually believe that Cracker Barrel values them. You see, and when customers aren't valued, then they leave. Now, we've seen other brands chase similar modernization strategies, only to stumble hard when they forget who their customers are. Now, Disney, for example, went through the same thing, gutting its identity while alienating longtime fans. And well, Cracker Barrel is just the latest example of what happens when companies assume that the brand loyalty is unshakable, when in reality, it isn't. But there's no guarantee that this reversal will work. You see, some customers, matter of fact, a lot of customers will come back if Cracker Barrel fires the CEO and the board is gone, but others won't. You see, once people feel taken for granted, Rebuilding that trust takes years. Now, the competitors are already waiting to capitalize on frustrated diners, and the one wrong move could send those customers elsewhere permanently. All right. So for now, I mean, the company is in survival mode, halting remodels, keeping the original logo, and talking about, fresh biscuits are reactive moves, not signs of strength or being proactive. Now, Cracker Barrel still has to prove it can deliver the same experience people fell in love with decades ago. And right now, the clock is ticking ahead of the shareholder votes. You see, every mistake from here on out carries more weight than before. Okay. And I guarantee you all that this move was made because of the fact that, the shareholder votes is coming up and the CEO is definitely trying to keep her job. But this entire saga simply proves one thing. Brands can't afford to forget why people choose them in the first place. Okay. So, yeah, Cracker Barrel simply built its identity on tradition, comfort, and consistency. Now, the second leadership abandoned that, the foundation cracked. Okay. So, Cracker Barrel itself has a chance to go ahead and recover, but it starts by listening to its customers, not lecturing them. But whether it succeeds or fails depends on whether, it learned the lesson this time. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Be sure to smash the like button, share the video far and wide across social media. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for future uploads, notifications, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, peace.